Alright gang, welcome back to our Triple Fit Challenge here in Hutan Pantai. It is now September. Part of the field here that we combined is ready to harvest. We're not going to harvest this field though at all until the next episode when this one should be ready. So we're going to hold off on that and take care of it then. But we also have another field that is ready to harvest today. One of our long grain rice fields is also ready to harvest. So we're going to take care of that, and we'll probably sell the long grain rice. The price is pretty decent today. There is a small, tiny amount left in the silo that we will also sell, which is good. That'll make us some good money. But as you can see, this long grain rice here is ready to harvest. Before we start doing that, though, and because I don't want to forget, because very often times I nearly forget about it, let's flood this field. That way we don't have any crop damage, and we're actually getting the full amount that we can out of this. So we'll go ahead and jump into our harvester here, and as you can tell, we already have some long grain rice in here. And that is because we didn't have any room in our silo. If you recall, well, I guess it wasn't many episodes ago. Many episodes ago is not the right answer, but a number of episodes ago, if you bear with me for a minute, I'm going to kind of utilize the liftable pail and pallets mod just to get this out of the way. Save ourselves a little bit of time. We got the harvest done. We didn't have any room left in the silo, so we decided just to leave it in the harvester and put it in the shed. Not the most ideal situation, but the game allows it to happen and doesn't cause any harm, so we're going to do it. Now, this buying silo, we're going to be getting rid of it today. There's another one out that I got on ModHub. It is what I was really looking for, which I thought that one was for. Allows us to buy, seeds, fertilizer, whatever we want, that you would basically pay for at the shop. That way we don't have to drive all the way to the shop. Not that the shop is far away, because it's really not. You can see it from here, but it is just convenient to have that on the farm, on the yard itself, right? So we're going to upgrade that today. We'll sell that one and put that one down. It's only a couple $1,000s. It's not too expensive, so not too concerned about that. Now, all of the actual long grain rice we get out of this field and we go sell, I'm hoping we'll get close enough to be able to purchase one of the fields that we need to purchase for the objectives here, or the threats here, in this case. And one of my members, Gorlin, decided to make a little screen blip for me, so Future Z, throw that up here right now. I just want to make sure I give him credit. I was kind of trying some things out a couple episodes ago. You saw a little tiny, image in the left-hand corner for a brief period of time. We're just going to throw this up from time to time. I think this is really nice. He did a really good job with it. And has a lot more time than I do to make something like that. So I really appreciate you doing that. It means a lot, man. I really appreciate it. So let me know your thoughts on it, if you like it or not. We're just going to kind of pop it up here every once in a while from time to time, just to give you kind of a ballpark or where we are, what we've accomplished, has the little green check mark on it, and then, what we have left remaining to accomplish. It'll help if you just happen to stumble across this and you're not really sure what's going on. Further details will be down below in the description in case that is you who had just randomly stumbled across this. But basically, there are 3 randomized objectives that were at random, chosen by a randomizer, that we have to accomplish. Along with that, there are also some bonus objectives that we can do that I have down in the description, one of which I'm already doing, one of which was to incorporate a new crop, which here's one of the new crops, the long grain rice. But we're actually going to be incorporating 2, because the crop that we got for one of the threats was green beans. The other bonus objective that we have to accomplish, that we have yet to start, and we need to start here pretty soon, is the temple. The temple evidently is going to take an eternity to do, so we need to get started on that. Now, the temple itself does not have to be completely or fully just from our own resources. We can go and buy those resources, but one little extra clause I'm putting in that's not really in the bonus objective rule at all, but it's something I'm going to be striving for, is I want parts of the temple to come from some of our resources. And by part of it, I'm talking more specifically probably from a tree perspective. Lumber, logs, right? So when we buy this field, well, one of the fields we have to purchase for one of these objectives, It does come with some trees. It's not a ton of trees, but it is some trees. So we're going to put down a small sawmill and pull all the trees from that land and put it into the sawmill. And that way we actually are able to contribute something of our own land or our own resource to the temple itself. That way we're not just outright buying it. Now, even outright buying it it's going to take it a long time, right? We got to have the money, first of all, to be able to buy the stuff for the temple. Some of which are not very cheap. Excuse me, gang. So we'll see how all of that goes. But that's kind of where we're at right now. We've accomplished the goats, and that's pretty much it so far. Oh, I just killed some crop. Whoops. Sorry, gang. Got a little distracted there. We'll use the Challenger. That's fine. Just to kind of give you, I showed it to you in that little screen blip, but we have to buy field 32 and field 26. I want to buy 26 because it has some trees on it, like I said. What 26 is 162,000, so we're not quite there. 32, we could buy pretty soon. We could buy it with what we have in the harvester right now, honestly, because it's 122,000 and we have 120,000, right? So, I'm going to put the small amount that's in here, the 630 liters in here. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the trailer. That way we don't forget about it. Now, the big problem we're dealing with right now is that silo is full, right? And so we don't have a whole lot of room for anything else. So the good thing is that the long grain rice right now is best to sell. So we're able to kind of go and get rid of this. But the silo itself only was able to open up 630 liters. So any other harvest we do, example, when we do the oat harvest, I guess next episode, we're not going to have enough room for it. So we might have to consider putting down a second silo. And by consider, I mean we probably are going to have to put down a second silo. So we got to factor that into our funds as well. Now, there are some mods that have come out over the many months the game's been out now at this point, where they could certainly help us. And by help us, I mean there are some mods that are relatively inexpensive for the silo, a little unrealistic, but a little bit easier for us to be able to incorporate. So we might do one of those, or as a matter of fact, we probably will do one of those. I'm not sure which one yet. I'm not sure how we're going to set it up or how we're going to make it look, but I will sort that out. So how's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. If you have yet to do so, for whatever reason, and you haven't checked out the new series, the Investment Challenge series, I did a couple episodes already. Might even have 3 out by the time this video comes out. I don't know for sure. But either way, I've got at least 2 out by now. And I think it's going to be a fun series, man. So check that out if you haven't. It's by my friend Rusty Money Gaming. He's the one who created that challenge. It's a unique challenge. Really happy with the way that we started it. I think I'm going about it as well as I possibly can. You actually don't start with any field whatsoever. You start with a yard or an area for a yard that you could potentially take some of that away and turn it into a small field if you wanted to. But that's it. So it's pretty difficult. But we're making good progress on it, so. Evidently I turned a worker on there. I don't remember turning the worker on, but evidently I did. Okay, I must have not hit the buttons correctly. Now, I'm not using steering assist or anything right now. We might turn it on here in a second once we get up here a little further, but I don't really think I necessarily need to turn it on. I think I'm doing just fine without it. Now, this is the only field that we can harvest today. Now, we could harvest the grass field that we have, but it's not as long as it can be, and I would prefer just to wait until it's the longest period, which would be next month, or the next episode, before we mow that, just to make sure we get, you know, the most bang for our buck out of that grass field. But we have to factor in the fact that in the next episode, the oat will also be ready, and that's a really big field of oat. So we may not get to mowing the grass until the following episode after that. So it may not be until, let's see, October, November? Yeah, be November. We'll see. Maybe we do both. Maybe we don't. We'll just see what happens in the next episode, I guess, huh? That's far away. That's not this episode, so let's stop talking about that, see, huh? A lot of new subscribers, rather, recently. So if you are one of those and you happen to be watching this, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. It means a lot. I've also, as you can obviously tell, if you've been watching this for a while at least, changed up the schedule a little bit. I'm not sure if we're going to have much of a schedule for the rest of February or not. We might not. Eventually we'll get back to a typical schedule, but might just be kind of a, you never know what's going to come out, what series will be out type of situation here until the end of February. Since I've already screwed up the schedule already as it is, I mean, I might as well keep it all randomized for a little bit longer. So I really figure out when I want what series on what day, right? The investment challenge well, realistically, I would have liked and I wanted to change up the schedule anyway. Move things around to different days a little bit. What I think is going to truly happen eventually once end of February, March comes around, we're probably going to have the Survive 25 series be on Sundays. And then probably this series will be on Mondays and Thursdays. And then the investment challenge will be on Tuesdays and Fridays. And then the survival challenge will be on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I think that's what's going to end up happening. But we'll see, right? This next week or so is going to be probably a little bit up in the air on what comes out when. All right, the money is pouring in here, gang. We're getting really close here. I think we actually are going to probably make it to being able to buy that land. 161,000. I think that is about what we needed to purchase it. 162,312. So we still have a little bit of the harvest left to do. So we definitely will make it. The only problem would be, you know, if it's a little bit close on the funds there. You know, we got to remember that we still have a loan. We really haven't done a whole lot of paying off on yet. So we've got that interest that we're going to be incurring every month, plus the normal fees and everything that we have, right? Taxes, etc., whatever you want to call those fees. So we may have to do a contract, but otherwise we're going to be in pretty good shape here to be able to purchase that today, which is really the main goal that I wanted, right? I wanted to be able to buy that land today with the fact of being able to sell all this long grain rice in the process. So let's go ahead and flip back into the Massey here. We'll turn everything on and we'll get back underway here. Probably another couple thousand liters at least left here. I would say 4 to 5 liters, maybe 6,000 liters. Which means we should get to around 170, and if we get to around 170, then we're going to be in pretty good shape for purchasing it and having a little bit of space here for the loans and everything else. Now, once this occurs, and we do purchase that land, really the main goal there is to turn it into a normal crop field for a while. Eventually, the goal here is we have to put green beans into it, and we have to harvest it as green beans. As a matter of fact, I don't even know what's in there right now. I don't know what they have in there. Was that grass? It might be grass, gang. I think it is grass. It is grass. Okay, well, that actually is pretty useful if it is grass for right now. We could continue to just keep it grass. That doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot of doing some baling here. We might do a bit of an upgrade on the baler as well, and maybe do no, do not turn on a worker. Do a little bit of the silage silo, where you can just pick up the grass and put it into the silo, and it'll turn it into silage for you instead of having to do the bales. I'm not sure yet. We might make that shift, maybe not. All right, we're nearly done here, gang. I'm going to be way off on my guess here. We're going to be just under, I should say, 4,000 liters. I thought it was going to be 4, 5, or 6, and we're not even going to make it to 4. So, yeah, go figure. I'm always wrong about those anyway. Whenever we try to guess bales or whatever it may be, I'm always wrong. So, we can unload the rest of this though. We'll go sell it. Same selling spot. It is pretty much the best spot. It actually is a couple dollars less than if we were to take it all the way down there where we normally do to the ship. But considering how far that is, I mean, I don't really care about losing, I don't know, it'd be like 20, 30 bucks by just driving it to right there. It's just convenient. All right, let's go get this sold. 3,000 liters, I think we're around 2,500 per 1,000 liters, something like that is what we're getting paid. It's been a good series. There's a lot of individuals who've also taken up this challenge, most of who are subscribers to the channel and or members to the channel. So if you're interested, please do it. I will tag your name below. Let me know in the comments for whatever reason if I've missed it, and I will make sure that you're tagged in the description down below. So make sure you check those individuals out if you have yet to do so, if you're enjoying this series, rather, and you want to see how other people are tackling this challenge. $7,958 buckaroonies, so we're almost 170 grand. That's pretty good, gang. Pretty happy with that. So let's get all this back to the farm here. What I'm going to do is put a worker on starting to cultivate that long grain rice field up for us. We'll have to do a little bit of touch-up work as we normally do because they tend to have issues with going around the headlands, but we can at least get them started on that. While that's happening, we'll take a look at the new field that we purchased, or we're going to purchase. We haven't purchased it yet. We're going to purchase. We'll take a look at that. And then potentially we'll look and see if there's any contract out there that is relatively simple to do that would be beneficial for us, right? Just to give us a little bit of buffer. Now, I don't know if the field we're going to buy here, if the grass is going to be ready to harvest now or not. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. Where is our cultivator? Oh, I moved it over here. That's right. I forgot I moved it over there. We'll also take a look at some of the other stuff that we have, like the bales, like the straw bales, you know, some of the cabbage and everything, and make sure that they're not best to sell today. I do not think they are, but we'll double check all of those just to make sure we're correct in that statement. AI worker, work the headlands on, start with the up and down, perfect. Go worker, go. Alright, let's fold this thing up. Make sure we stay out of the way of the worker here, if at all possible. Bit of a lag there. Did you see that? Bit of a lag there. That's weird. I'm not... as far as I know, I'm not downloading anything or playing online or anything like that, so I don't know why there would have been a bit of a lag there, but at least it seems to have subsided now. Lots of pallets of cabbage loading up there, which is really good for us. We do have 2 pallets of goat milk now as well, which is good. Let's go ahead and close this. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so 2 pallets of cabbage. We have some still in storage as well, so that's good. We're making a lot of cabbage. Let's see. They're doing okay. They got enough water. They got enough meadow. They're fine. We have 1 full pallet, and then a smaller one that it's not full yet, but that's okay. So they're good. No problems there. This is the size of the grass that I want. You can see, if you look at from this angle, you can clearly see the difference there of the grass sizes. So we're going to wait another month, obviously, before we mow this, because we want the full length, if at all possible. Alright, so, having said all of that, let's purchase field 26. $162,000. And let's go visit it. Alright, so this is our new plot of land. We got 1 out of the 2 that we have to purchase with this challenge completed. But it's only part of that threat objective, right? We have got to put the green beans in here. And buying the harvester for the green beans is going to be quite a hefty expense for us. I've told you before, it's $500,000, so it's not cheap. We need to get the loan paid off too. I think the next objective I'm going to work towards personally is trying to get the loan paid off, I think. I may shift that, though, if we're able to purchase this one relatively quickly. Depends on what happens here towards the end of the year. You know, we have a lot of stuff in the silo, like I said, right? Because the more fields we have, right, the more money we're going to make, the easier it's going to be for us to pay off that loan, right? So here is the end. All of these trees up in here, for the most part, are our trees that we can knock down. There's quite a few big ones like this, right? Which should be able to produce quite a lot of pallets of wood for us, which will help us with the temple. And speaking of the temple, let's go take a look at the temple right now. I think we looked at it many episodes ago, but we'll go look at it now. Right now, we need planks along and cement bags. So we're just going to buy the cement bags outright, but we're going to use those trees on that field that we just purchased, right? We're going to use the trees on this field here to at least do the planks along, so we have something here. It does say it's ready to harvest. I do think it is actually at the level that it needs to be taken care of, or, well, I say taken care of, you know what I mean. It is at the level here where we can actually mow it. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's jump into the John Deere here. Grab the mower. Remember, this mower, it's not... this tractor doesn't really have the full amount of horsepower it needs for this mower. So it's going to have a little bit of an issue, but we'll be alright. We'll be alright. And let's head over to our field, and we'll take a drive there so we can actually see how we get to it from our current land. It's not too far away. Just up here to the left, kind of where we did that contract in the last episode, I suppose. We did a contract over there with bales and mowing and everything else, right? It's very similar to that area. Or very close to that area, I should say. All right, go ahead, Walter. Nope, see? You didn't have enough room, so you shouldn't even tried it, Walter. I don't know what you're doing, buddy. I don't know what you're doing. So this is our land right here to the right. We're just going to pull in right here. Just make sure that's the correct statement. It is. So this is all of our land here. There's not a whole lot of flat land here, but my vision is when we have enough to put down the small sawmill, we'll probably put it somewhere up in here, because pretty flat here. It's going to have a little bit of land manipulation, but for the most part, it's mostly flat, so it shouldn't be too bad. And that's really the only thing we're going to put down here. The rest of it's just literally going to be a crop field. Now, what we can do once we're done with knocking all those trees down, it may not be the easiest thing to do. We could potentially try to expand the field a little bit, right? That would certainly help. Give us some more money. Now, up here on the top of this hill where the road goes, you can see those buildings, and there's a couple silos in the background. Other things are starting to come into view here. That is technically the starting farm on this map, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. There are some rice fields up there. Actual true rice fields. I don't know if necessarily we're going to be able to purchase it in this series or not, but if we... Oh, easy there, Z. I was going all over the place. If we have the ability, you know, because the temple is going to take forever, as everybody's mentioned. If we have the ability and the time, we may consider purchasing those. It'll likely be towards the end of the series before we do purchase those, though. Just based solely on the fact of everything else we have to accomplish, right? And we'd rather accomplish that first. Those are just kind of a side thing to do. So it's a big field. Biggest field we have besides the one that we just combined, right? By far the biggest one we got. And it's going to give us a lot of grass. So let's get to work here getting this mowed. It's going to take me a while to get it all done. So I think the best way to do it is to throw it into a time lapse. So let's get this sucker done, huh? right, we are done here, gang. It didn't take too long. It was about 10-ish minutes of real time. Should only be a couple of minutes at most for time lapse there, so it wasn't too bad. We got to get the windrower over here and windrow this up. I've made the decision while I was mowing. I kind of was thinking it and mulling over the ideas for what we could do with the field until it comes time to utilize the green beans on it. And I think we're going to mow it up here, bale everything up as we typically would do, and then we're going to turn it into a normal crop field. So we'll cultivate it and then put a real crop in there. I like mowing, but I would prefer, I think, just to have that as a crop field since it is far away. And we can keep our small little grass field that we have right now going. Because that's really plenty for us. And the survival challenge series that we're currently running on the channel already has enough mowing going on anyway, so I think based off of all of those factors, we're going to turn that into some kind of crop field. I don't know what I'll put in there as far as the crop goes, but we'll figure that out when the time comes. It's not going to be today, I can tell you that. Worker is still cultivating the field, it seems, so that's good. Now, while we're here really quick, before I get the windrower out, we are going to do something. We're going to take a peek at all of the stuff that we have that are good to sell. I think we did a little bit of that earlier, but I want to look at some of the other things we didn't look at. More specifically, the cabbage. The Napa cabbage, there it is. Went right past it. Yeah, it's the worst time to sell it is actually right now. It's in January. I thought it was in January, but I wanted to verify and make sure that that was a true statement. Straw, for whatever reason, is in the main section here, so let's look at the straw. Yeah, December. So, okay, yep. So that stuff's just going to have to wait. The problem, like I talked about at the beginning of the episode, is really figuring out what we're going to do with this oat field behind us, because it will be ready to harvest in the next episode. We will not have enough room in that silo over there. As a matter of fact, let's go quickly look at the silo so you can see what I'm talking about. It has 29,000 liters of wheat in it already, 14 of canola, and 9,000 of sorghum. I think it only holds 50 or 60. I don't remember exactly. It's got to be 60, right? 60,000 liters, I think, is all it holds. And we're going to have significantly more than what is actually able to be put into the silo right now. So we're going to have to figure something out. We don't have a whole lot of money to do it today. And I'm not sure we're going to get to a contract today. We do have enough that we will be able to be fine between now and the next episode. But the next episode, we probably are going to have to consider doing a contract and or selling the oat field there. Either a contract to get another silo of some sort to put down to hold the oat, or sell some of the oat and then buy the silo with that profit from doing that, right? So one way or another, we're going to have to figure something out. Now, the nice thing is that these silage bales should be ready, sometime in the next day. Well, obviously, whenever we're done wrapping them, whatever that time period is when they've been wrapped, it should be that same time period in October. They will be ready, and we could go sell them. It will be obviously later on because it's already 12:30. All right, we're underway. Now, this is not the biggest windrower, right? This is plenty big enough for our little grass field we currently have, but we probably would realistically want a bigger windrower for the size of this field. So it's going to take a while to do this too. We just did a time lapse. I don't really think I'm going to do another time lapse here. I think we'll just do some jump cuts or some edits that I'll edit out when the time comes for me to edit this video. I like doing time lapses, and I like having them in there from time to time, but I don't like them being back to back very often, as much as possible if I can help it. So this is going to be a jump cut situation. real foggy over here. Was dealing with that when I was mowing. A lot of fog just kind of creeping in here. Also, I've got to look for some kind of a power sprayer or something. The equipment we got here is very, very dirty. It could use a cleaning. I really should be doing that in every series, honestly. It's more of a smaller goal, I guess, than all the other ones we're trying to accomplish in the episodes. But I should probably try to start prioritizing that a little bit better. There are some out there, it's not outrageously expensive to do it, so I definitely should be doing it. I don't know how much it's going to cost us, but shouldn't be much. If we get the one that's just the hose or whatever, and we can just hook that into the ground wherever we want, that one isn't too much. At least I think it's out there on ModHub. I might have already installed it. I don't remember. If I haven't, I'll have to go out there and find it. See if I can connect these a little bit better here. I don't know if I'll be able to or not, but we're going to give it a shot. That's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. Now, let's do one more headland type of pass here. And then I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a traditional up and down here with this field or not. It is not. It's a very awkwardly shaped field. That's the reason why I just continued to mow it in a headland type pass until I got all the way down to the final passes. Might be a same situation here for this. Don't know for sure. Let's take a pause here for a second. The worker is done with this, evidently, and they actually did a good job. They got all of it, which is very, very surprising. So it must just be this field over here for whatever reason. But anyway, let's go put this away, and we're going to get the drill out, and we'll get the worker re-drilling this field as well. Whoop! Whoops! We'll get the worker re-drilling this field as well while we continue to do the grass work up there on our new field. Alright, the worker's going back underway here. Now, we are going to have to fertilize that field as well today. The long grain rice field that we're re-drilling right now, we're going to have to fertilize that today too. We've got to still put down the new buying silo. Get rid of the one that we currently have. And get the one that, you know, is what you would pay for if it was at the shop. It's just kind of like a shop and a silo. Versus the one we currently have, which is you're just buying stuff that's market price. Now, I think I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to mention it again here briefly just in case. The buying silo we're going to put down has the ability for you to buy a bunch of other things. You can buy crops, you can buy pretty much anything from it. We're not really going to utilize it for anything, with the exception of maybe gas, diesel, water, and buying seeds, fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, that stuff. That's really all we're going to utilize it for. Stuff we would typically get from the shop, minus the water, I guess, and the diesel. Everything else, though, we're going to not be utilizing at all in that. So just want to make sure that that was, you know, stated and clear. Literally just using it for the ease of convenience to refill up all of our equipment with whatever products they need to continue to do their job. Instead of having to drive up to the store every single time. I think I'm just going to go a more untraditional way and just kind of headland past this the whole way. It's not the easiest field, and I think it's going to take me longer if I don't do it that way. So, we'll just go from a headland approach. Alright, we are done here with this, gang. I I'm not sure we're actually going to be able to get these all wrapped up today or not. We'll have to just kind of see here. The episode's getting pretty long here. I'd like to. I just don't know if we're going to be able to or not. Might have to kind of split it between this episode and the next one a little bit. But either way, let's get this back here, get this put away. We'll go get the bale out. We'll go get the baler out, rather, and get to baling. Ideally, what we should be trying to look to try to upgrade to is some kind of baler wrapper combo. Now, those are very expensive, and the odds are not in our favor. Ooh, I'd like to have that. I'm not going to lie to you. I would like to have that. Huh. Well, don't think we're going to be able to purchase it today, though, unless we sell some more stuff. I don't think it's going to happen. Because that's $22,000. Better part of $22,000 there. And we only got 6.8. Excuse me, 6.8. And like I mentioned earlier, we've got to worry about the loan and everything else, the interest, all that stuff. So as much as I would like to have it, I think we're going to have to pass on that. But yeah, some kind of a wrapper and bale combo would be an ideal situation for us, like one that would pop up on maybe the used market. That would probably be the only chance we'd have, but it's not that I don't like our bale and wrapper as it is, but it would save us time if we were able to do both, right? Knock two out with the same process. Now, the other thing we could do is upgrade the round baler to a square baler. That means we don't have to stop every time, right? We can just keep on driving, and the bales will just spit out the back. Our wrapper does have the ability to do both, which is a nice thing about the wrapper we have. I'm doing a quick save here real quick, gang. But to get a square baler that we can actually utilize, they're not cheap either. The cheapest one is this new one that I purchased, this $83,000 one. Everything else is outrageous, right? So we're nowhere near that price anytime soon. So let's get over here. Let's get these bales going here, gang. And we'll see where we are as far as the time goes. And if we have the time to do so, we will wrap as well. If we do not, we'll save the wrapping for the next episode. Alright, so we still got a ways to go here on this field, gang. I do not think we're going to be able to get this accomplished today because the worker got to a point where they could not find the field. This is the same issue we were dealing with before. So we're going to have to do the headland passes for the worker here. There's a little bit left to do here. And by a little bit, I mean there's a decent chunk left to do here. And then we've got to put the fertilizer down on it as well. So, and we're getting pretty long already. We're over an hour before I edit. By the time I'm done editing, when it's around an hour, it's going to be 35, 45, 50 minutes, something like that. So it's probably time for us to put a pause on doing the rest of the new field, and we can pick that up where we left off in the next episode. And that way we make sure we get this field done, and it's not, you know, it's not half growing and the other half's not, and all the other issues that could come with not going ahead and just finishing this one up. So that's what we're going to do. But I'm glad we got that new field. That's going to make us some good money, man. It really is. The silage we get out of that will make a lot for us to be able to pay back a good chunk that we paid for it. I would say probably somewhere around the $30,000 that we'll get back. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but somewhere around 30 grand we will get back from that field just from the grass we just were harvesting there and that we're going to turn into silage. Which will be really good, right? If we can get 30 grand back off of that, that makes that field only cost us 130. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll take that, because every time we put a crop in there and we harvest it, we're probably going to make 40 grand off that field, depending on the crop. Unless it's sorghum. Obviously, sorghum you don't get paid a ton for, but if it's anything else, we'll get paid a lot on it. So we've already done 2 time lapses. Both of them weren't super long time lapses by any means, but we've done 2 already. That's 2 more than what I would typically want to do, right? I normally would want to do 1 at the most, but sometimes there's nothing else for it. You're going to have to do 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. Depends on what's going on, how much you have to do, how much can be put off to the next episode, right? You got to prioritize things, etc. And today's prioritization was truly this field. Am I missing? I think I am missing that. Alright, well, let's back up and go over top of it. Now, realistically, I've talked a lot about doing upgrades and buying new things like the baler, right? But I'm almost tempted to state that we need a bigger drill more than anything. This drill's great, don't get me wrong, I like it. It's very useful, it's helpful. It does the job, what we're asking of it. But I almost think it's time for us to try to upgrade the drill as well to get a wider drill. It does take a long time to drill fields with the size of this one. It's not a very big width. A lot of the fields we currently have are very big fields, right? So we've got a lot of ideas and a lot of plans for this money that will be incoming here towards the end of the year in a couple months from now, a couple episodes from now. Just depends on what we decide to use it on. It really, I think, more than anything, depends on what's in the used market at the time when we're selling this stuff. Because if there's something good in the used market, that'll probably be shifted to our focus and our priority there, right? Something that we need, or some kind of upgrade that we could utilize. Alright, the field is done here, gang. We just got to get the fertilizer spreader out here, and then we'll be done. I think I'm going to hold off on getting the sprayer as well to clean up the tractors and all the other equipment. We can save that for the following episode as well. Getting pretty long here. I don't want to make it an hour and a half long episode. It's a lot to ask you to watch if it's an hour and a half long. So try to keep them more realistic if at all possible. That's put away. Let's go ahead and grab this real quick. Should have fertilizer in it, I believe. Yep, that should be enough. That should be sufficient. And this won't take too long because the spreader is pretty nice, right? It's a nice long width. So So it won't take us too long. Just a couple passes here, we'll be done. So a lot of things that we wanted to accomplish today, unfortunately we didn't get to, just based off of timing. But they're still on the list. We will get to them. If not today, it'll be in the next episode, right? Always, that's how it always works, right? There are things that are prioritized that are much higher than others, and when we have time to get to them, we get to them. That of which is the pressure washer. A very low priority, but something I want to accomplish here in the near future. So, we will get the rest of this done. In the next episode, we will probably start harvesting this field over here. We'll finish doing all of the grass work on the new field we got. And then we'll probably start cultivating that field. We probably won't get that field drilled in the next episode, but we'll at least cultivate it. Now, I may put the worker on cultivating it. I'm not positive yet with that statement, but we'll at least start getting that field cultivated so we can put some crop in the ground there. And next episode we'll do some of the other stuff we wanted to set out to do today that we didn't need to accomplish, like putting down another silo of some sort, if possible, and putting down a different buying silo, right? Because that was one of our other objectives today that we are not going to be able to get to, so... We're going to leave the episode here at this point, though, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you smash the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. All of that good stuff helps out the channel and myself an absolute ton. Thoughts, questions, comments, ideas. Let me know down below, as typical, as always. Thanks so much for your continued support. Thanks so much for my members. All 12 of you are absolutely amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough. If you're interested in that, links down below in the description. Lots of perks you get, like access to this video and all the other series early whenever they are ready. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.